Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving straight into the absolute heavyweight showdown of the home theater world, OLED versus QLED. Both of these display technologies have evolved into exceptional, boundary-pushing ways to experience home entertainment, but they take completely different paths to get there.
Look, we've all been there, right? You're standing in the TV aisle staring at this massive wall of incredibly bright screens, completely overwhelmed by all the marketing jargon. You're probably wondering, is OLED truly worth that premium price tag, or is QLED actually the smarter buy for your home? It's a huge investment, and making the right choice is going to transform your daily viewing experience for years to come.
So to help you make the best choice, here's our roadmap for today. 1. Decoding TV tech jargon. 2. How do they work? 3. The head-to-head matchup. 4. Busting common TV myths. And 5. Which should you buy?
All right, jumping right into part 1, decoding TV tech jargon, or navigating the alphabet soup.
Because, let's be honest, before you even look at a screen, you're totally bombarded with acronyms. Mini-LED, HDR, Dolby Vision, quantum dots. It's literally an alphabet soup. But let's cut through all that noise right now. When you're looking at premium displays today, the whole shebang really boils down to two dominant technologies, OLED and QLED.
Moving on to part 2. How do they work? Let's get into the actual mechanics of the pixels.
First in the ring is OLED. That stands for Organic Light-Emitting Diode. Now, the absolute game changer here is that an OLED panel acts like millions of tiny, independent light bulbs. Since every single pixel makes its own light, it completely ditches the need for a big, bulky backlight panel. And here's the kicker. When a pixel needs to show black, it just turns itself completely off. No power, no light, just perfect absolute black.
Over in the other corner, we've got QLED, championed by massive brands like Samsung and TCL. QLED stands for Quantum Dot Light Emitting Diode. It basically takes the traditional LED backlight that TVs have used for years, but, and this is crucial, it supercharges it with a microscopic layer of quantum dots. These tiny little dots are crazy efficient at boosting color accuracy and pumping out seriously vibrant, bright images.
So what's the actual difference? Well, it all comes down to that backlight. Because a QLED still uses a backlight sitting behind the screen, its pixels can't completely turn themselves off. They have to dim in groups. OLED pixels, though, they operate completely solo. That one single engineering difference literally cascades into everything about how your movies and games are going to look.
Which brings us to part 3. The head-to-head matchup. It's a clash of contrasts and brightness.
Looking at the hard numbers here, you can really see their totally different fighting styles. OLED absolutely crushes it in perfect black levels and excellent viewing angles, meaning even if you're sitting way off to the side on the couch, you get a great picture. But check out that right column. QLED punches right back with insane maximum brightness, and yeah, a noticeably more affordable price tag.
When you take these specs and actually put them in your living room, the whole showdown basically boils down to this: OLED's infinite contrast going toe-to-toe with QLED's extreme brightness. Because OLED pixels turn completely off, the contrast ratio is mathematically infinite. But QLED fights back by blasting a sheer volume of light that OLED just can't physically match.
Let's put that into perspective with something you'd actually watch. Say you're a massive movie buff watching a scene set in deep space. With OLED, the space right next to a bright, piercing star is pitch black, zero blooming, zero glow. On a QLED, because that backlight is always firing back there, that same pitch black space might look a little more like a very dark gray, and you might catch a faint halo of light around the stars.
But hold on, let's look at this number right here, 4,000. If you're hosting a daytime football watch party in a room flooded with sunlight, modern QLEDs can crank out over 4,000 nits of peak brightness. You practically need sunscreen for that. For comparison, top-tier OLEDs might max out around 2,000 nits, so QLED easily slices right through any annoying glare. It is, without a doubt, the undisputed daytime champ.
All right, part 4, busting common TV myths, where we separate fact from marketing fiction.
Okay, the number one fear you're going to see all over the internet is OLED burn-in. People are terrified that static stuff, like a news ticker or a video game scoreboard, will permanently scar their brand new screen. And yeah, while that used to be a real issue on older models, today's TVs have active built-in protections, stuff like pixel shifting and logo detection. For normal, everyday home viewing, it's honestly barely a risk anymore.
In fact, to put your mind completely at ease, check this out. Modern OLED panels are built to last for around 100,000 hours. Think about that for a second.
That's more than 10 years of heavy, everyday TV watching. Both of these technologies are built like absolute tanks now, offering amazing lifespans. Your investment is safe either way.
Let's quickly rapid-fire a few more busted myths while we're at it. First off, QLED tech genuinely does improve picture quality over your standard old-school LEDs. Those quantum dots are not just marketing fluff. Second, modern OLEDs? Actually, scratch their old reputation. They're no longer the dim screens they used to be. They are way brighter now. And third, the newest mini LED QLEDs have dramatically closed the gap on black levels, getting closer than ever to that OLED magic.
This brings us to our final section, Part 5. Which should you buy? Let's find the best TV for your specific lifestyle.
So, when should you go OLED? Well, if you're a massive movie nerd or a competitive gamer taking full advantage of 120 Hz and HDMI 2.1, if you love watching stuff in a dark room at night and absolutely crave that perfect premium shadow detail, or if you've got a wide seating arrangement and need everyone to have a great view, then yeah, OLED is absolutely your gold standard for realism.
But the QLED buyer profile looks totally different. If you're a diehard sports fan, if your living room has massive bright windows letting in tons of sunlight, if you plan on using your TV as a giant computer monitor with static windows, or if you just want to maximize your screen size without breaking the bank or ever stressing about static images, QLED is a ridiculously smart, durable choice.
At the end of the day, both of these screens offer a jaw-dropping upgrade over older TVs. So making your final decision really just comes down to one fundamental question. What does the room actually look like where your new TV is going to live? Are you willing to sacrifice blinding daytime punch for perfect infinite shadows in the dark? Or is watching the game in a sun-drenched room your ultimate priority? What will you choose to redefine how you see the world from your couch?